This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Welcome to Off the Break Podcast. I'm Cody, and with me are Kyle and Eric.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back, everyone.
Thank
How's your
you.
week?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're doing it in the morning again.
Yeah.
We were talking about how the past couple have been in the afternoon. We're
Because
just kind of running out
It's
of
been
steam.
so busy.
Long
Mhm.
week, long day. It's Friday. Let's
Yeah.
just get out of here kind of mentality. But now it's like, yeah.
Yeah, we should be.
Once we have a lot of stuff to talk about, kind of.
Yeah, we do. We should be our chipper selves right now. Might hear a difference.
I have had so much coffee. I am like buzzing.
Yeah, that's why I made my next cup right before.
Right.
Gotta have that buzz. I can't feel normal.
Podcast buzz.
Mm.
Kyle's like,
Right, Kyle?
I just got a full night of sleep.
Yeah.
I was like, I get my buzz from Mountain Dew.
Well, I do get my buzz from Mountain Dew, and that's probably
like any
not a
Kyle
good thing.
should.
It is a true Kyle move.
Not too far.
Like
They're
that's
both green.
definitely true.
They're both like glowing green, so not too far off.
Kyle's are?
No, Mountain Dew and Monster.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, Kyle, you went and saw a gentleman. How was it?
Much more enjoyable than I expected. I'm always worried when it comes to seeing movies in January because there's a reason why they kind of get dumped off there. It's
Underwater was fine.
I know, but most of the time, like it's just
It's the dumping ground.
it's the dumping ground. It's the ones you want to forget about. But this one was actually pretty entertaining, and Guy Ritchie, who directed and wrote this movie, feels like he kind of was able to go back to his normal stomping ground, kind of like what he did with back in the day with Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. It was kind of like feeling like that's those type of movies again, which I appreciate, especially since he recently did like King Arthur and Aladdin.
Yeah.
So he's probably like burnt out at this point and was probably wanting to do
Back
kind
to
of his
that
own thing again.
Director.
Stylish, fast-talking, very smart, sarcastic kind of black humor.
Yeah, and it was enjoyable. 20 minutes in, it's kind of hard to kind of tell if you're into this movie or not because it's kind of a different type of storytelling with explaining what is going on and who these characters are and what the situation is. But about like 20-minute, half-hour mark, you'll know for sure if you're into it or not, and that's what it was for me. Like I was right at the half-hour mark, I was like, okay, I know exactly what Guy Ritchie's doing here. I am enjoying this, and I enjoyed the whole way through. You can just tell that the story that he came up with, just all these actors had stand-up moments, just for chewing up each scene that they had. No matter like who was paired off with who, like each person had like their own standout moment, which was nice to see.
It's Charlie Hunnam and
Charlie Hunnam, Matthew McConaughey, Jeremy Strong's in there, Colin Farrell and Hugh Grant are awesome in it too.
they're both in there.
Isn't Henry Golding in there too?
Henry Golding, he was one
Isn't
of my
he the bad
favorites.
guy? Or are they all bad guys?
They're all bad guys, but
I know
he's
nothing
one
about
of the
the plot in
badder
this
bad
movie.
guys.
Oh.
I thought it was
didn't-
just like just a character thing.
Is it one gang against another?
No,
even think
For
it's-
turf?
Yeah, what's going on?
Not exactly. It's about Matthew McConaughey's character pretty much throughout his career. He pretty much just has like a great marijuana empire, but now he's wanting to sell it like all completely so that way he can just live a normal life with the love of his life, with his wife. And while he's trying to sell it and just like calmly step away, like people are trying to come up with ways to like take it from him instead of just buying it off him.
Dismantling it?
Yeah, and the way that the story is told is that Hugh Grant is kind of a sleazy reporter who figures out like what's happening and who's doing what, and he's explaining to Charlie Hunnam as though it's like a movie script that he's coming up with. Like,
Is he like a
at the
narrator?
same time, he kind of is, but
Is
not
there a
in,
lot
like,
of voiceover?
not voiceover, but you see Hugh Grant talking to Charlie Hunnam.
Oh, okay.
And like
Charlie
explaining
Hunnam one
what's
of
going
the
on.
guys, or is he also a reporter?
Hunnam is McConaughey's right-hand man.
Okay.
And it explains like why they're talking to each other and whatnot.
Okay.
But, yeah, just by the way the storytelling is done, and then with the plot not really being what you think it is. Like you think it's a gangster movie, but it's really just a gangster movie that is not like the full-on like gangster mobs going at each other, but it's more of like
It's a little sillier.
it's a little sillier, but
Sounds
it
like
works.
kind of silly in how small stakes.
Yeah.
It is.
Is it weird to see Henry Goulding as the bad guy, like mean, and not just like some handsome romantic?
It wasn't weird for
lead?
me because I wanted to see a different side of his acting. I've only seen him in Crazy Rich Asians, and I heard that he was going to be in that Snake Eyes movie, that G.I. Joe movie, so I wanted to see something different. Yeah. And I was actually very surprised by how well done he did.
Is he too pretty to be believable that he's evil?
Not for me, no.
Maybe
I don't know.
Not,
I bought into
shocked
it.
by the luster.
It doesn't
of his
sound like
face.
any of these people are evil. It just sounds like they're kind of sketchy, skeevy people who are a little bit not the best at what they do.
No, the majority of them are evil, quote unquote, except for Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell is like one of the best characters, if that's what you want to call him, man.
Okay.
No, Colin Farrell's great in this movie too.
You're selling me on this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to see it, but
yeah,
it's just.
Yeah, like a true Guy Ritchie movie. You're like, I'll take a shot at that.
Well, exactly. Like, it's been a while since I've really seen that. Like, even Sherlock Holmes, as much as I like those movies, that's not the truest
another
of
Sherlock
Guy Ritchie
Holmes?
movies.
I hope so.
I think
They're
been
working on
confirmed
it
for a while.
The director of Rocketman, I believe, is attached to it now.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I think I wrote about that a couple months ago,
actually. I remember that changeover.
Yeah. It might be on silverscreeninsider.com.
/Insider News.
Yeah. But my main concern, though, is today's audiences not understanding the kind of movies that Guy Ritchie does, because there's a lot of times where there's so much language that kind of could come across as offensive. Like, there's quite a bit of racist terms, but in the sense of like how these characters are with each other and how they talk, it makes
too
sense.
Woke to enjoy the grittiness of a Guy Ritchie movie?
I'm not making that as my headline. I'm just worried that this could be what people come out being like, no, I don't like that. It felt gross to me. I just could see that being a possibility of this movie.
Do they say the N-word a lot?
Not the N-word, no. It's just British slang that they make towards like
British
Asian characters.
Oh. What?
Like
British
stuff
slang
like
is like the best.
It really is.
I could just like close my eyes and listen to like them just bantering, saying gibberish, but with British accents, and I would love it.
No, there's quite a few scenes where I was like, this is so much fun to listen to. Like, not even to watch, just to listen to. I just could see that being like the real negative in this movie. That is hindered because people come out and they're like, no, it's mean and insensitive. Don't go see it. When really it's not trying to be mean and insensitive. It's just how these characters are supposed to work.
Well, I'm sure those characters aren't like, excuse me, Mr. Blah, 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 but you're in my way. You know, I think they would probably throw out a bad name.
Yeah. I see what you mean now.
Like, it's probably truer to the character to talk like that than it would be to like be PC.
Exactly. Like, it's not.
They're not worried about hurting each other's feelings.
I mean, there's stuff that is said to like a majority of like Asian characters, for instance, and towards Henry Golding, and it could come across to some people as being like, oh, how could you say that to Asian people? But at the same time, it's like, well, I mean, if they're in this movie and Henry Golding seems to be enjoying the role, I haven't heard him get mad, so maybe this will be okay. So
it's like when people were trying to give Quentin crap for how many times he used the N-word in Jank, which was a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Samuel Jackson and Jamie Foxx just like, no, he's a good guy.
Well, those are the I mean, with
it was
Jamie
a certain
Foxx
moment in
and
time
Sam, they're like, oh yeah, we're on
tended
board
to use that word.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, that would just be my one worry, but I don't know, for knowing just about nothing and for it being the month of January, I was very impressed by what was done.
Is it the best movie of 2020?
I mean, between that and Underwater, man.
I mean, Underwater is the best movie of 2020, in my opinion.
I have not seen a movie in 2020. I was just talking to the guys about this, that it's almost the end of January. It's been 30 days, 31 days in this month.
You're not going to have seen a movie in every month.
No, I will not have seen a single movie in January. Not even holdover movies from 2019. I haven't seen nothing this month.
I mean, I only saw two, but they were both. I mean, one was great, 1917, like we talked about. It was a great way to.
2019.
I know, but that was a holdover.
Yes.
But I went to the theater twice this month.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you gone, Kyle, to the theater?
It was this for the Gentleman, 1917.
Judy?
You went to see Parasite.
I was able to stream Judy. I did see Parasite. It wasn't at it was at a more artsy theater.
Right, but it was still a
But,
theater.
Yeah.
So
So
you've been
that
3
was 3
times.
then. Yeah.
Nah, you got me
Kyle's
beat.
leading the charge.
Of course I'm leading. I'm
'Cause I'm just
awesome.
gonna have to go tonight. Back-to-back feature.
For
Of
Gretel and Hansel,
Oh.
and then The Gentleman.
no, thank you.
you could fit both of them in because Gretel and Hansel is so.
It's like 80 minutes.
yeah, it's so short.
That's why I want to see it.
I mean, sure, it just still
I
does not
love
look good to me.
80-something minute movies.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite.
I'm
Hopefully,
ki-
you
I'm
get your
kinda-
money's worth, your
I'm kind of
minutes
glad
worth.
they made it so short because they didn't put in a bunch of fake story because
Yeah.
You
basically
think?
just wrote the, I would think, the story.
Yeah,
of-
it seems like super streamlined. Trim all the fat. Just get in, watch a movie, get out. Grab
Alright.
something to eat.
At least make that one first, and then go see The Gentleman.
I think you're hating on it unfairly. I think it'll be a good time.
I just don't think it looks. I just don't think it looks good. I hope that you do like it, of course, but
I don't like horror, so I think it looks horrible.
Ah.
I don't trust horror releases in January. So
You know what? I
The
was kind
water
of
was
thinking
fine.
we need to monitor it, but The Grudge hasn't done great, and
The Turning.
The Turning didn't do well, and if Hansel and Gretel doesn't do well, then is that like 3? Is horror not on its way out? But I mean, is it just lack the luster audiences?
I don't know. I mean,
Or are
it's
these
only
just
January,
3 bad examples?
I think January is the dumping ground for bad.
And
horror
unfortunately,
movies.
this is Super Bowl weekend, so Gretel and Hansel, which probably wasn't gonna make
Great.
tons of money
Yeah.
initially, is gonna get hit even harder by that. So it'll look like,
But
it's like 0 for 3.
we have-
Underwater, I guess if you consider it a horror, it's probably more of like a thriller,
didn't
Right.
last year's
suspense movie. But that didn't do good either.
didn't last year's Escape Room actually do pretty
It
well?
did
It
well.
wanted
That was
a
January,
sequel,
right?
and it
Yeah.
did come out in January.
That's what I was gonna ask. I was like, what compare
So
it
it's
to
not
last year's
impossible.
January horror slate? It's definitely doing worse.
Yeah.
Or 2020 is
And then,
doing,
and I don't think it's
performing
gonna get better because it's Fantasy Island and Brahms the Boy coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
don't
those
think
don't.
Fantasy
we-
Island just looks so dumb.
Are we not gonna get a good horror movie until Quiet Place 2?
Yeah, it's possible.
I
I mean,
don't
I
know.
could look at the slate and see.
I mean, they'll
what else
probably
we
when does that come out? June or April or
What, A
something?
Quiet Place?
Yeah.
March 20th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually, let me.
yeah,
double
that'll
check.
probably be the first one, unless like some A24 horror
It's
movie.
in the
sneaks
middle
in.
of-
March 20th.
It's in the middle of between Onward and Mulan.
Let's see.
In there.
I don't see any other horror movies leading up to that catch my eye. Oh, The Invisible Man.
Oh yeah, but I feel like
I don't
that's not horror. That's
It's
like a
thriller,
psychological thriller.
psychological
Yeah.
thriller.
I don't
So
think
it's
that looks
possible.
very
Yeah,
good.
horror fans might have to
Oh,
wait a
genres.
bit.
Seems weird because I don't know.
I mean, horror definitely kind of dominated the
Get la-
second half of the 2010s.
I feel like it did. I feel like
Yeah.
it was growing
Mm-hmm.
as a genre.
I mean, there are a lot of movies from that have kind of. I don't want to already use the term like cult, like a cult movie,
yeah.
but I remember The Witch came out, and then it was It Follows, and there were movies like You're Next, and then there was The Guest, and then there was more of the A24 horror movies, and we got Your Hereditary. There's just a lot of
mean, Get
horror
Out.
movies that were a little bit on the
Yeah.
more
The It
artsy end.
remakes.
The It remakes was like definitely like the biggest point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, but maybe it kind of peaked and
Yeah.
it's kind of
Well, I mean,
2020.
2020 just got started.
I know, but we got real world
We-
horrors
we don't-
that
We
are
do.
way worse than horror movies.
Sadly, that is true. 2020 is the start of the apocalypse, everyone.
It's not
The
been an
biblical
easy.
end times.
It has
biblical
not been an
end
easy
times.
year. Let's
Just checking all the right but
Yeah.
wrong boxes.
Should that start our next conversation then?
the
Yeah, that's kind of
Coron-
an interesting
a
coronavirus.
Coronavirus.
Basic, not just in general, because I'm sure everybody's heard stuff about it. But
yeah.
Cody had an interesting perspective on how it's affecting the Chinese box office.
And yeah, it's essentially like shut it down during
Can
one
we
of their
just,
most
like-
lucrative times of the year. In fact, it's so lucrative that the Chinese push out all the quota movies from foreign
Mhm.
distributors so that only Chinese made movies are featured during this time
Yeah, it's
because
Chinese New Year. Everybody's home. They get
Yep.
like months off. They're gonna go to the theater. They were planning on seeing all these movies, but now just basically, I think like the entire industry is just put on hold.
it seems like that. I think a lot of people are like not going out, because they can't.
Mm-mm.
Their public transportation shut down in several major cities. And so it's interesting how that affects what industries that affects.
Everything.
everything and how that sets back so many films. Now, it's not affecting Hollywood products because they were never going to be featured during this time.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, lesson learned.
See how long it
People,
lasts,
maybe
though.
the Chinese market isn't the money maker you thought it was.
Disney.
When they're really susceptible to these kind of outbreaks.
Well, when it comes to an outbreak, it's definitely going to hinder quite a lot of things.
Yeah.
Movies too. Yeah, so
It's just an interesting how that directly related to what we talk about.
I mean,
so
like
much
it
here.
just.
Yeah,
I can't
true.
imagine a whole industry just grinding to a halt, but
No.
I
you
can't
know,
imagine
we've
what
had-
they're going through over there. That's sad as well.
I don't know if we
it's
even
awful.
have
Yeah.
anything to compare other than when we've had like Hurricane Katrina maybe.
Yeah.
But that only affected a certain part of the
exactly.
market.
Yeah, this is
and
just
there's been some like weather related issues that sometimes will take off a couple $1 million from a film's opening weekend. But this is just on this whole other level because so many theaters and screens are black right now.
mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, just, all the theaters in the South got cut. This is like across the country for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so crazy.
And
Yeah.
most of the theaters are in very, urban areas, as most of China is. So,
Right.
so it's not like you get the rural areas still going strong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that
just
they're not
nothing.
affected by any of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're in big cities, and big cities are shut down right now.
Full on lockdown.
Yeah.
It's like dystopian stuff.
But I
Crazy.
was kind of thinking of what could something similar have happened here, and besides a natural disaster like the hurricane or snowfall in the Northeast, I can't imagine. Not even like shootings. The Aurora
I
shooting
was going to
didn't
ask,
even.
like, a shooting, or what about 9/11 even? Like,
not-
that was...
No, people.
For a
I
nation.
don't remember it. Like it didn't shut down the whole industry. It shut down
No.
parts of the nation, but didn't take a huge hit on the whole industry. Like
this is like an unprecedented thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Just everywhere is just shut
would
down.
that freak people out if like theaters were shut down here? Like I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
It might be a crazy like
I think they'd be more worried...
reality check because you just don't. Things like that just don't happen here.
You mean
Yeah.
for the studios to
Just
freak
all
out? Or
across
like
the
people
board.
in general?
for the public.
Yeah, just across the board.
Because that doesn't
Maybe.
happen.
Yeah.
Really
Like
here.
imagine walking up to a theater and just like covered in pieces of paper, just saying like the film industry is shut down
Yeah.
indefinitely.
Stay home. Wear a mask.
Do not leave your house. You could die.
I mean, that's why there's streaming services. Maybe they...
The streaming services are loving.
Maybe they're
this.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is perfect. Our plan is working.
Netflix is probably like ka-ching.
Oh,
This is
God.
why we're made, baby. This is why we're here.
It's so
Yeah.
morbid.
So it did not all of the industry would be... Well, actually, it still probably would have been shut down, but...
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope that can get under control because I feel so bad.
Yeah,
It's
that is-
scary over there.
It is really sad for sure.
The videos are like haunting. It's just like these giant cities that have like 15 million people, but just empty on the
Nobody
streets.
is
It's like
on the
28
street.
days later, where it's just walking through London or wherever that takes place. Just no people anywhere.
At least they're taking proper measures, though. So
Oh yeah,
that's
only
good.
China could do this.
Yeah.
Building like entire hospitals in 6 days.
I feel like if this was in the U.S., Texas or somebody would be like, "Not my state.
They
Oh,
just-
man.
Build
are
the wall
blind.
around us."
They just are blind from it.
all the states would be like throwing up walls. It'd
Yeah.
be chaos. China's got
No unity.
China's got the authoritarian government. It's like this is gonna be the way it is.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like they have the resources and
Yeah.
they don't care like the manpower or cost that it takes. They'll be like, yeah, we're gonna throw people and resources at this until it's done as fast as possible.
Ugh.
It's crazy.
We're gonna start converting theaters to hospitals.
They probably have
Yeah, they can.
converting everything to hospitals. Oh man. Well, let's move on to a uniquely American thing. It's a
Super
little
Bowl.
thing called Super Bowl. I don't know what that is. But
Eric doesn't
Guys,
know what it is, but
are
the rest of the
we-
world
I've heard of
does.
it.
Are we gonna be super excited for like Super Bowl trailers?
No.
I've never
Womp
watched
womp,
them.
Not this year.
Oh, I see. I mean, yeah.
I mean, you're
they're
not
already
wrong.
They're already all. They're already all online.
Yeah.
Just watch them on YouTube.
I remember when Super Bowl commercials were like the thing.
Yeah.
That you just
Yeah, I
people
feel like-
watch the Super Bowl sometimes just for the commercials.
I knew a lot of people who did that. I never really did that just because I didn't watch the Super Bowl at all. But it seems like the last couple years, people have been trying to still pretend like
It's a
you know,
thing.
it's a thing,
Yeah.
but it's like,
I remember dying in like 06 and 07. Like I remember leading up to that, like every
Yeah.
commercial was always like, you nailed it. It's like
was
memorable.
really good.
And then
Yeah,
all of a
this is what
sudden
I
it's like,
expect. This
man,
is
they just
everything I
get
wanted.
weaker and weaker. And
I feel like it's because you get so many more commercials everywhere online.
Oh,
they
yeah.
interrupt your streaming.
it's definitely
and-
boomed because
I mean, that was
of
also
how big
before
that's gotten.
commercials started
Yeah.
really embracing like the weird, surreal, zany internet type
Yeah.
humor in their ads. So
Mhm.
when they would do that, and because that was also when most people were still just watching cable,
Yeah.
you know, that was like fresh and new to them.
Mhm.
So it was like, what is this? This is
Yeah, and then
hilarious.
once internet culture, social media started booming,
Once
then
Right.
those
they
viral
transitioned that
videos
over to there as compared to spending what is now actually $5.6 million just for 30 seconds.
I think it's crazy that there's so much cord cutting and people moving away from cable that they can still command those prices.
I know.
Yeah, but it's still one of the biggest events to watch. It's
It
Super
just-
Bowl
it
is
has
number
to be
one. I
like-
mean, the Olympics might change that this year, but it still is always like top dog.
It just has to be surviving off of people like, you know, take 5 people, probably like 3 or 4 of them have cut their cable and they all go over to that 5th person's house
Oh,
to
definitely.
watch the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
but
Yeah.
we can watch it. I think you can get it on Hulu Live. like,
Probably.
if you upgrade, I'm pretty sure. We get football games on Hulu Live, so I don't know why we wouldn't get the
That's how I
commercial.
watched the Oscars last year.
Yeah.
I don't know what channel hosts. the Super
It's being
Bowl.
hosted on Fox. So, well, actually, Disney has that. No, Disney does not have
No.
Fox Sports.
No,
No.
that was like
So
the
maybe
one
it's not
thing.
on Hulu this year. I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
Who's
Huh.
even playing? I forgot. You told me because I
Kansas
asked.
City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers.
It will be a fun game, though.
Sounds like a couple of good teams.
Isn't it the first time it's the Chiefs have been in a Super Bowl since like Super Bowl 2?
Yeah, 50 years.
Yeah.
2?
2. Like just 2.
Which one is this?
54,
What is the L?
I think.
in Roman
50.
numerals.
It's 50.
L is 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 54.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's a lot of Super Bowls.
It is a lot of Super Bowls.
Have Super Bowl commercials always been a thing?
Oh, yeah. As long as I remember.
I feel like they've maybe
You're not
since the-
54 years old,
Yeah,
Kyle.
since the 90s.
Well, exactly. As long as I remember,
I feel
they've
like
been.
they got big in maybe the 90s.
Was
I
it-
remember them just being big in the 90s.
You remember? You know that famous Apple commercial? Wasn't that during the Super Bowl?
Which one?
The one where it's like all these same people in like this future like Tron like universe are like marching, and then like one person's like running in the middle to somewhere. Wasn't that in the Super Bowl in like the
don't
80s
know
or
what
something?
that
I
is.
don't.
I'll look it up
remember
for you
that one.
guys. And
My favorite old Apple commercial was like, "I'm a Mac and I'm a PC" with Justin Lawn. Remember
Boomer
that?
from
alert.
like 2 years ago.
That's not 2 years. That was a while ago.
It
10
sounds-
years ago.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
That is, those are old.
Those are
No
very
way.
old.
Time's going fast, Kyle. Those are
Apparently.
old now.
I
Boomer
realized.
alert.
Huh.
I don't want to say how many years I've been out of high school, but I've been out of high school more years than I was in school. And the realization of that hit me very hard the other day. And I'm
Well,
like,
yeah.
I'm so
That is
old.
weird to think of.
So old.
Because
'Cause
I
I
think for Eric and I, we're still at the part where
1990
haven't
was
been-
10 years ago.
we've been in school longer than out of school.
Come June, I will be 7 years removed from school. From high school.
Oh, from high school.
From like your
Yeah.
basic school.
From
Okay.
the year you graduated.
Okay, fine. I guess we don't include college, but
Oh,
that
well,
still is weird.
Oh, wait, I didn't include college, just high
Well,
school.
a lot of
I'm
people go to
confused.
college.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying.
And some people take longer in college than others.
They're called doctors.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Kyle.
Some of them are just, I don't
I
really
thought
know
people
what my
would get
major
the
is
Tommy Boy
yet.
joke.
Some of them.
Maybe my
have-
9th year of college, I'll figure out what I want to major in.
Some of them only have Bachelor of the Arts degrees.
Such as myself.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
Not earned in
Me
4
too.
years.
Oh.
Were there any commercials that you guys were hoping for the movies at all? Any come to mind?
No,
No,
I
because
mean,
I've
it's-
seen them all.
Wasn't 20? I think it was 2017. There was like that bombshell announcement where they announced that Cloverfield movie
Yeah,
during the
Clover-
Super Bowl,
yeah,
and then
Cloverfield
after the Super
Paradox.
Bowl, it was like out.
Because no one knew if it was going on Netflix or Paramount.
Yeah.
Was
think they'll
still
do anything
having
like
a
that.
theatrical release. I haven't heard anything like that.
No, I just feel
Maybe
like
commercials for some of Netflix.
It was like a
movies.
one-time gimmick thing.
Well,
Maybe
I think
Netflix, yeah.
I think no one knew if Paramount actually did sell it to Netflix or not. So I think they were trying to make that like an event thing.
Oh. Well, I mean, of all the big upcoming movies that aren't like too far away, they've kind of all already dropped their
Trailers.
Yeah.
big game TV spots. Like
Paramount
Sonic
dropped,
the Hedgehog did.
yeah.
Or, Quiet Place Part 2 dropped
Did
that.
Sonic did.
Paramount do a Maverick trailer?
No, I've been hearing that they might not do one, which I'd be a little
Like another
surprised
one?
by, for at least for the Super Bowl. I'd be
I
kind of
would-
surprised though.
I would think out of their upcoming slate, they
It has
should
to
do
be
Maverick.
Maverick. Yeah.
For that general
That's
all
why
audience.
I'm not buying into that completely, but I have been hearing reports that it has
I
not.
feel like it would be a waste if they did a Sonic trailer for the Super Bowl.
They already did.
I mean, it's already it's a
Kyle
TV.
laughed.
It's a TV spot. There was one laugh at the
Kyle
one part of the
lolled.
end. One part of the end where I was like, okay, that's funny. Jim Carrey did a good job.
Jim-
Oh, if it was Jim Carrey, I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I'll have to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Maybe I
with
can
the
find.
boys.
Maybe I can find 30 seconds.
You don't even need 30 seconds. Like the last 8.
Yeah, same with like the Quiet Place Part 2. It's it's so short because like
Well, they're just TV spots. It's 30 seconds.
I know,
mean,
you-
it's
you forget
5.6
that
million.
because-
That's all you got.
yeah, exactly. Like that was $5.6 million. Like yeah, no wonder
Yeah.
you put this on YouTube.
Actually, Mulan also dropped one today as well. That's going to be during the Super Bowl.
But see, they dropped it online. Like I feel like they're.
I know,
just
it
Why are
ruins-
they calling
ruined-
it the Super Bowl ad if
Yeah.
it's dropped like a week before?
I don't not understand that at all. Like dropping the ads before
If they're yeah.
if you're spending the money, you might as well wait the extra few days to release it on the Super Bowl and then drop it online.
if your target audience is like the 18 to
yeah,
whatever 35-year-old demographic, then don't put it online because they'll just watch it online and not on the $5
none
million
of these peop-
spot you've just bought.
yeah,
Yeah, none of these people.
that
are
doesn't
also-
make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's not like
I
they're
don't
having
get
it
that.
online and it'll also play during the Super Bowl. Like none of them are doing that, are they?
Yeah,
No, they're gonna play during the Super Bowl.
that's what I think.
Makes
this-
even less sense.
I mean, the
Yeah.
SpongeBob one.
I thought that they were just going like,
The SpongeBob
yeah, we're gonna
one.
save that money and just put it online.
Ye-
But now they're
no,
doing both.
it's-
I didn't know they were doing both.
No, they're doing both. Like the SpongeBob one, it literally has like a monologue from one of the characters being like, "We're having our spot before the game. What are you talking about?" And because the Paramount ones are going to air like the pregame and not during the Super Bowl,
because it was cheaper.
probably. But I was just like, "Oh, then what's the point?" I don't know. I'm with you guys. Like,
hope
I think
that's
that's a
good.
very weird.
Do you have
way
any
to do it.
favorite Super Bowl commercials? Like
I don't
I
really
always liked
remember
the Budweiser frogs,
Mm.
and
I don't remember which commercials were Super Bowl commercials.
yeah,
There was one from Geico I remember that always killed me. I forget. I can't. It's a long story of how to explain it, but just there's one with Geico and the caveman that is just
Caveman
so
were my
hilarious
favorite
to me.
commercials.
Yeah, those were always
They
genius.
probably weren't. The one I'm thinking of probably wasn't a Super Bowl one, but like I forget what he did. Maybe it was
Or
the
no,
bowling
maybe it was
one.
a FedEx commercial actually.
They just like do
I
the
have to
most
look back on it.
extraordinary thing, and they're so proud. And then they
Mhm.
like see the billboards, like so easy a caveman can do it. Just sucks all the joy right out. It's like, oh,
I'm trying to remember now. Maybe it was a FedEx commercial. Maybe I don't remember the commercial as well as I thought I did.
yeah,
just commercials.
just commercials. I'm probably not going to tune into the game.
Really,
I have no way of
I
watching
just
it.
don't have any interest in it,
this is actually like the first one in like a year or two that I'm really excited for.
and I mean I'm rooting for the Chiefs to win, even though they probably won't. But I'm rooting for them. I like a good underdog story.
Who should
Yeah.
I root for? You got to tell me. Who
Oh,
I need-
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to root for
It's their
them.
first
Yeah.
time in 50 years. You got to root for them.
If it's their first time in 50 years. They must not be that good. Maybe they just got lucky.
I don't
think
know. The
they made-
quarterback's a god.
Yeah.
Patrick
Why
Mahomes
is this the
god.
first time in 50 years?
Because they haven't gotten lucky.
Yeah,
Fair
they
enough.
haven't been good, and now they're finally
see, that's
good.
I will never understand. Like people just flip flop in football so much. It seems like I get the whole underdog thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. So there's
Well,
just some
when
people who are
you're
like they
here
hate
and-
teams because
yeah.
they're like really good. I guess it's like
It's not fun to watch somebody that's like so like outside. You
for
know,
a while
so
I feel
good
like it
that
could be cool just seeing them.
It
like,
gets old.
dominate.
It gets
But
old.
it's kind of cool at first, and then yeah, it gets old. It's just not.
I can see that, but
not
if
fun
they're
to
the
watch
best,
somebody.
shouldn't they win?
Unless if then they
I
aren't
think-
good.
You know that the best game is always somebody that is somehow more evenly matched, and it's more of a battle to the finish. And then
Oh, I get that.
any
I get
winning
that.
is
I get
hard
that.
fought, and it's not fun to watch somebody that like just trounces the opponent with like very little effort. And it was like, I am the winner, and wants to be
I
celebrated.
get that. In my mind, it seems like the two teams that are good enough to make it to the Super Bowl should be somewhat evenly matched. So it's like a tug of war.
That's why I'm really excited for this year. It does feel evenly matched.
So, because San Francisco has such a good defense and Kansas City has such a good offense, that
Yeah.
it's like, what's going to win out, the offense or the defense? And that's always, I think, in football, a huge debate.
Defense will win.
Yeah, defense.
But I'm
usually
rooting for the Chiefs offense.
can't score any points if the defense cuts you off.
Well,
So
I guess you'll have to wait and see. I mean, after
2 more days.
I saw my one and only football game in person last year, and it was okay.
Oh, yeah, you did go to one of the college games in town.
Mhm.
I forgot
Apparently, it
about
was a
that.
big one.
Oh, you just watching, you're like, what's everyone yelling about?
I was like, yeah, I'll tag along. Oh, this is like a big deal. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the rivalry.
I didn't know
game,
what was
right?
happening, but like all of a sudden, everyone around me was just like cheering, but the people I were with were pissed. I was like, I don't understand why. Is this not how most games go?
So you're just like, I don't know.
Like, I'm just here for the atmosphere.
I forgot about that. Well, good for you, man.
Sure.
What do we have next on the docket then?
We've got everybody's favorite thing: early Twitter reactions.
Birds
I
of Prey.
love
Birds of
early
Prey
Twitter
edition.
reactions.
that trash movie, Birds
I
of Prey.
love them.
Did anybody mention the trash quality of the?
I don't. I've had second thoughts on that. I mean, like,
Thank you.
I don't know. To me, it just, I don't know. I was never super sold on it. I was just brainstorming why those clients were so against it for
And
some
there's
reason.
still.
So I didn't want. I'm not saying that I think
should
it looks
look at
like that,
Twitter.
but I was trying to put myself in their shoes, and I was like, "What are you seeing in this trailer that you didn't see in the Joker trailer? That you didn't see in blah blah blah?"
In
Yeah.
Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
and
Other than
their
it's
dark-
women doing it.
Yeah, that was the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we don't want our women being yucky.
That was that's all I was trying to say is what they were saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But apparently people are really stoked on it. You know, like
Yeah.
they always are in early Twitter reactions.
Yeah, Birds of Prey had a screener for like some critics finally, and they only have their Twitter reactions so far, like no reviews yet, but so far they're sounding like it's the best movie ever.
Well,
As for every
most of
Twitter
the praise is
reaction.
going to Margot Robbie, which I'm not really surprised. She's the like focus of everything about this marketing campaign.
Best part of Suicide Squad when she was
Um,
last as that character.
People are really, really pointing out how like just unique the action set pieces are, which I feel like I've heard them say about other comic book movies. But
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt.
I'm hoping that they are unique because these characters don't necessarily have a lot of superpower. Like it's not.
Do any of them have
I think
any powers?
Canary
do they
has.
just,
She
like,
has the
the
Black
scream.
Canary has a siren call like their
Yeah.
vocal cords, but the rest no.
Does that just like hurt people's heads?
Yeah, knocks them back. Makes them
It's like the force push,
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Think of it that way.
force push.
But
through the
just
mouth.
just with the visual of
the
the vibrations or whatever.
blurry air.
Blurry
Blurry
air. It's blurry air.
I like to say wave air.
A
Like
sonic, a
waves?
mini sonic boom.
With a sonic blast that can push cars back.
I love there's like 4 superpowers, but every movie like tries to make it unique.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying with like the New Mutants, just holding their hands up in different. Instead of an orange light coming out, it's like a yellow light.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's silly.
They're so colorful.
I do think this movie
Same
could
with
be.
Morbius.
I do think this movie could be good, but it's just with Twitter reactions, like they just are always so overreactionary.
Well, they have to
only
be.
for them to come back down to earth, and most of the time they actually like write bad
I just
reviews.
think the movie's gonna suffer because it's R. So it's never.
I keep forgetting that it's R. Yeah.
It's just not gonna get the like.
Wait, because Suicide Squad was
Teenagers.
PG-13, right?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
I think I saw the stupid extended director's cut. I think that was unrated. Maybe it was rated R.
There was.
Yeah.
There was one of those.
I think there was.
I have no idea.
the
I haven't
one I
watched it
saw.
since
I hated
I saw it
every
at the
second.
theater. So,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sure it was still bad.
But I don't know. This one seems to be, again, yeah, it's R. Joker was R. That made a lot of money. But it seems to be tracking pretty decently.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're thinking it might open the $50 million range, which would be great.
That's
for
actually
this time
way
of
more
year.
than I thought it would.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the first big movie after.
Christmas.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess Bad Boys for Life has been doing pretty darn good.
Right, but that was
And
unexpected.
That was very
our-
unexpected.
Correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then 1917 was a holdover, and when that went wide, it was doing good. But this
1917 hasn't done great for the little places.
Really?
It does okay the first week, but it doesn't hold up.
That's very surprising. I would imagine
know.
like the more small rural areas would,
its word of mouth is
especially like a war movie. I mean, not an American war movie, but a war movie nonetheless.
I think there's some initial interest in it to see it, and that's why week 1 does pretty good. But
it's so good.
It is really good. I was happy to see at least bigger places being able to watch it, and seems like there's good buzz from those places anyway.
yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, so Birds of Prey is coming out next week. Reviews might come out soon, so probably just wait
I
for
don't know the
those.
embargo date off the top of my head, but
I-
I would imagine Wednesday or something.
I thought I heard it was Wednesday or Thursday before its release.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, so not quite soon, but
right.
about that time.
Well, speaking of dark, twisted,
My
views
favorite
on-
news story of the
yeah.
week, which I'm kind of doubtful it'll ever actually happen, but
it'd be so weird if it did.
Paul Rubens, better known as Pee Wee Herman, famous for the classic movie Pee Wee's Big Adventure. He's kind of been out of the spotlight for a bit. I guess he did do that Netflix Pee Wee movie. But long story short, the Safdie brothers, the directors of Uncut Gems and Good Time, are reportedly circling a very dark, addiction-based sequel to Pee Wee's Big Adventure, which is just the most random idea ever.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's been writing this script since the 90s, and he was kind of
who's he?
Paul Rubens.
Paul Reuben. Oh, Paul. Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
Pee Wee's
okay.
like his creation. That's his baby.
Yeah.
Because he kind of fell out of the spotlight because
For personal
for
reasons.
personal reasons. But then he kind of came back and he was shopping the script around.
I don't know what that means. I don't follow
He
Pee-wee.
got arrested for masturbating in an adult theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think twice, maybe.
Is
three,
that not what
maybe
you do
three
at one
times?
of those?
You're not
What?
allowed to whip it out and just
Oh,
go to
no?
town.
Oh,
You're
all
supposed to just watch the movie.
This is
Yeah.
territory I have no idea
That's-
about.
I'm like,
so-
Are you supposed to just go there
That's
and just watch
exposing
it?
yourself in public. You can't
Yeah,
do
I
that.
guess-
This
Yeah,
dark,
that's true.
seedy auditorium.
It's crazy that, I mean, it happened a long time ago. It just doesn't happen anymore because they don't have
Right.
triple X theaters.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with the advent of the
It's a
internet,
different
people
time
can do
now.
that at home
Mhm.
in the
Yeah.
privacy of their own homes.
Instead
So
of
yeah,
out
he
in public.
he did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And he was the children's character, so kind of
Was he a
ruined his
children's
career.
character? Okay,
Yeah.
I know nothing about Pee Wee Herman.
Pee Wee had a
I have not
What?
never seen a Pee Wee Herman movie.
There was Pee Wee's Playhouse,
yeah, Pee Wee's
and
Playhouse
it was
is
a
a big
really
Tilton
big
show.
children's show, like
Pee Wee's
Barney.
Big Adventure is a classic.
I
movie.
would see him like, I don't know, skipping through channels, but I never once was interested as a kid.
It might have been before your
Like just
time.
I saw Pee Wee's.
maybe,
I
but
saw Pee
I
Wee's
don't
Big
know. I just would see it.
Adventure-
I'm like, ugh, God.
I saw it in middle school, and I mean, yeah, it's a kids movie, but
I never
I loved it. It's very creative.
I never watched it or the TV show.
So point is, he was a big deal,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
and so now he's
Yeah.
kind of coming back. He was shopping this dark script that apparently he calls it "The Valley of the Dolls" meets Pee Wee. It's about how Pee Wee becomes a yodeling star, and then that leads to him becoming a big Hollywood movie star, and then that leads to him getting addicted to pills and alcohol, and then he goes on a downward spiral and turns into a monster. So that's his premise.
If
Is he
if he's-
redeemed in
if he's
it?
a
I
kid,
don't know.
If he's a kids show character, why go? What?
I don't know. He says it's about fame, and so he was shopping the script around, but nobody wanted it. He went to Judd
yeah.
Apatow, and Judd Apatow's like, "Dude, this is kind of dark. Maybe we should do something a little bit happier." And they went back and forth. He eventually persuaded
Judd
Pee Wee
Apatow
to
said that?
Yeah. He eventually persuaded Pee Wee to make the Netflix
Weird.
movie Pee Wee's Big Holiday in 2016, which I haven't seen. Maybe I'll check it out.
Didn't Judd Apatow just make a dark comedy with Pete Davidson?
He's working. Yeah, that's going to be
Didn't
their
they show it
next
as
movie.
Okay, whatever. This story's so
Um,
weird to me. Anyway,
But Paul
keep
Rubens
going.
didn't like how he looked in that movie
Mhm.
because, he's like, I'm old now and I'm supposed to be playing the
Yeah.
same happy-go-lucky character. It looks a little creepy. So
Yes,
now
that's what Yummy thought.
so now he's he's back with this script, and he pitched it to the Safdie brothers, and they were like, "Hey, this sounds pretty cool. Yeah, we're hot off of Uncut Gems, looking for our next project. Seems right up our alley."
I will say that's a good match.
Exactly. That's why I'm so excited.
It is a good match.
The idea is so
I don't
bizarre.
think it's gonna happen, but it's a good
Like
match.
on paper, it's like your reaction is what I would expect most people, like Judd Apatow, had.
Oh, yeah.
But that's exactly why I love it. Like, just because it's these guys making it.
Yeah, for
who
sure.
have made two of the, the grittiest, grimiest.
I think this could only be made for streaming.
Oh, definitely.
I think this would
maybe.
have only
I would see
come
this in the
up
theater.
and been able to be made for the streaming
It
era.
would probably be on like Shudder or
I
something.
can't imagine how much it would cost so much money to get the DCPs made. I just don't know who the audience for that would be.
Paul Rubens claims he can make the movie for $15 million. He says that it'll cost $1.5 million to do the digital de-aging, I think, or $3 million, something like that.
It wouldn't be the most expensive movie,
Which
but
would
it's
De-age
still.
him?
Hey, that's what he said in his plan.
He's like, well, I can't look old. It'll be creepy.
That sounds, yeah.
It would be
I
ridiculous.
have to look young and handsome when I get addicted to pills and alcohol and I'm yodeling.
Oh my gosh.
So I just thought it was such a bizarre story, and just the fact of who it involved was super interesting to
I
me.
feel like we're
No,
really
it
like
absolutely
scraping the barrel
is.
for IP.
Hey, it's been around for a while.
Crazy.
Give him a chance.
well, it's not even IP that people would be like, yes, we have to get this.
It could also just
You
be
know,
that he's
it's-
like has long since gone crazy, and he's like just delusional that this is a good idea, and that is
it's
just as enticing to me.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
100% that.
I feel like it's a train wreck.
But that's why
that we
he
wanna
works for the Safdie
watch.
brothers, man.
Exactly, and they probably know that too, and there's like,
It's not like they're crazy,
Like,
but
dude,
they
we
go
gotta-
for that type of thing.
we got to tiptoe around this dude, but this could be so fun. So I'm
Yeah,
keeping my
it's-
fingers crossed it sees the light of day. Probably
mean, if-
won't though.
If Netflix has the Pee-wee rights,
Netflix
I
didn't
guess
want
they're
it.
called.
They didn't want it because it didn't.
Really?
It didn't check the right boxes.
what? Check
That was-
your
that was his
Netflix.
quote. That was
You
his
made
quote.
trashy rom-coms. What are you
So
talking
who would
about?
they distribute it through?
I don't know, maybe A24.
I think even A24 is like,
A24 would
There's-
eat this up.
they don't do
really-
IP stuff though.
I can't
They do
imagine-
now.
I can't imagine A24 taking it on.
They
and
do love the
something that
Safdie
Netflix
brothers.
passed on.
I don't know. Netflix probably passed because they're like, yeah, we did Pee-wee's Big Holiday because that's like classic Pee-wee. This is
Not.
this is gonna confuse people.
hmm No, I still don't think this will see the light of day regardless, but
I
it is
want
one
it.
of
Now
those
that you
stories
said-
that you have to be
Yeah.
like, wait.
Now that you said
I
Netflix
have to read
passed,
this.
and I feel like Netflix takes anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's been their running gag for a long time.
yeah.
But
I
I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Well,
I would see this movie. In
I
the
like
theater.
how everybody's
Excuse
like,
me.
let's make dark and gritty and
Let's make Joker, but with Pee-wee.
but with Pee-wee, yeah. We've moved on from superheroes. Now let's make it like a Barney where he actually eats the children.
Yeah, is that what's next?
Who knows? Daniel
The man
Kaluuya-
behind
Daniel
the Barney
Kaluuya is
mask.
rebooting Barney, and so maybe he will give it a weird spin.
There's no need.
All the hugs are like death hugs.
Oh yeah, just crushing
Never
all
letting
those
you
kids'
go.
spines.
I love you, crunch. To
I hated Barney when I was little. I thought it was so annoying.
Oh, I was such a big Barney fan growing
I
up.
didn't watch the show that much, but we had a
I watched
VHS
it way
copy
too
of like the
much.
first movie where there was like a rainbow egg.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Is it?
You're speaking my language now.
pretty
Forget
sure it's like-
Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's like considered one of the worst movies ever made.
Oh, it
in
probably
history.
is,
but
but-
I watched it a lot.
But it's a classic, man.
I kind of want to like watch it to see if I can find it on YouTube just to see if the scenes are familiar because I have like
I'll watch it.
vague images.
I
I
had
don't know.
mine are not as vague. I actually do remember that movie quite fondly. But again,
It's such a pure upbringing. I see your Cyber Chase sticker on your laptop.
oh, isn't it great?
You are like probably all about those PBS cartoons.
Oh, 100%. I learned about math. Did not help, but I learned about math.
I had my fair share of PBS, but
hmm
not exclusively.
Mine was unhealthier, probably. A little too much PBS.
A little
I
too
didn't
sheltered.
watch any PBS. I was like, these shows are stupid. It was so bad. I was like, give me an adult show.
Give me the dark,
I thought
gritty Pee Wee
I thought that
reboot.
Barney was for babies and annoying.
It was for babies,
Yeah.
and it was
Those
annoying.
kids aren't babies. Those kids are like
Those are
Those kids needed
they're
the
probably
money.
younger. They're probably like
Those kids needed the paycheck.
I'm
It's
trying to think
understandable.
of what I liked, and not a lot is coming to my mind. I know I watched TV, and I know I watched probably a lot of it. I think it was on
A lot of
while I
stuff you
played.
thought was too babyish,
I did. That
even
was
for
a
the
big-
right age group.
I mean,
know,
there's
that
a
was a
few
big
of the
thing for me.
PBS stuff, but I mostly remember, you know, I've been watching SpongeBob my whole life.
Yeah, of course.
I watched a lot of Fairly Odd Parents when that
Mhm.
came out. I remember when
No.
it debuted. I watched
Man,
I watched a lot of
Did you guys-
Boomerang. When we had the Boomerang channel, I watched a lot of the old Hanna-Barbera
Yeah.
cartoons.
Did you
Same.
guys watch like Animaniacs?
A little.
Or-
Animaniacs was. There were some shows that I knew they were like going over my head, and that made me
Yeah.
feel weird.
Yeah.
and that was one
Tiny
of those shows.
Toons? Ooh,
Oh, the-
Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and the
Yeah.
Brain, yeah. Not as much.
I didn't
but-
watch a lot of those like with those Warner Brothers kids because I just didn't know how to
Oh,
find that
Did
channel.
you ever watch The Rescuers?
Of course.
Right.
Actually, I just rewatched both of them
The
not too
movies?
long ago. Yeah.
The first Rescuers movie
Is that where he
is like
frees the eagle?
okay. That's Rescuers
That's the
Down
second
Under,
one.
the second one.
That's the most memorable scene to me for as a kid.
Right.
I probably didn't watch
It's a really
them
good
that many.
scene. Yeah.
Oh, it's tough. And then you have to save the eagle eggs because
Because
they want to eat them.
he has like a Swiss Army knife,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I was like, I have a Swiss Army knife.
I'm a cool kid just like him.
I'm gonna scale a cliff and
Giant
free an
eagle.
I forgot how old the first Rescuers movie is.
Yeah.
Because I knew there was like a sequel, so I was like, oh, it's probably only like 5
So
years
Rescuers
old
1 have something to do with like
between each other.
jewels in the eye socket of a skull.
Yes.
I remember that image.
Yeah.
Okay,
Rescuers is a good movie.
But they still had to rescue a little girl, I think, in
Yeah.
that
it's
one.
coming back to me.
Yeah,
Cool.
those are some of the stuff that I watch. Rescuers Down Under.
Those are movies. What'd you tune into for Saturday morning cartoons?
Looney Tunes was big for me.
I didn't.
I woke up
Looney
early.
Tunes was big for everybody
I liked
except me.
movies.
I woke
a
up
lot.
early for
Yeah.
Looney Tunes.
I think
I did watch
we-
a lot of
We
movies.
watched a lot of movies on VHS.
Me too.
A lot of taped movies off the TV.
That's
Yeah.
why you like working with movies
I
so
like Dark
much.
Crystal and yeah,
Did you like the show?
Labyrinth. I
Show's
haven't watched the
amazing.
show
You haven't
yet.
watched
I
the
hate
show?
the movie. I hate the movie. I had never
Really?
seen it, and I wanted to watch the show, so I watched the movie, and I was like, this is like a cult classic. People
Yeah.
love this, and I'm like, I feel like the people who say they love it haven't seen it in like
Oh, no.
20 years.
It was a
It's so boring.
it was a
there-
treat to get to watch it at like because we only had it on taped VHS.
I feel like people just group it
And-
with Labyrinth, which is a good movie. And
Labyrinth is good,
people- and
but I
people are
had
like, yeah,
Dark
Labyrinth
Crystal
and Dark Crystal
and
those are great.
Goonies.
Goonies
Those
is
were my
Goonies is
three.
great.
but Dark Crystal. Go ahead and watch
Was
it
it
again.
too scary?
I mean, the
It's
beginning
too
is
scary for
the
my
beginning
boys.
is scary. Like when the Skeksis guy like disintegrates.
And then they try to like rip his
Yeah,
stuff
they just
off.
like eat him.
Yep.
It looks like they're like orcs from Lord of the Rings, just feasting on his innards.
Yeah.
But the movie's just boring, and it's all the whole story's through that voiceover. The characters, I don't even know their names. I don't know. The show is amazing though.
So you were probably really worried about the show because you're like,
Mhm.
I didn't like
I was
the
like,
movie.
wait, do I want to still watch this show?
Mhm.
Because people had been giving it. It had been
Fizzy wig.
really well received. But
Mhm.
you should watch the
She
show.
has a dog with like 1,000 teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of teeth.
It is. It's like 2
It's
rows.
adorable, but
So
also really gross.
All of the creatures are really gross in that. Even the gelflings are.
Yeah, they're ugh.
They're so like smooth skin that it's. Anyways,
Do we have one more thing to talk about? I thought we did. but I
Yes,
can't remember.
actually,
Emma Watts stepping down. Emma
Yeah.
Watson stepping down.
Oh yeah,
from-
just a quick little.
Is it
update.
Watts or Watson?
I think it's just Watts. Emma
I think
Watson's
it's
an
Watts.
actress.
That's right. I'm getting them confused.
She's Hermione.
She was Emma Watson.
No, Emma Watson
was
is.
the
Right, Emma Watson's
a
Hermione.
high up executive at Fox
Oh, I'm thinking of Emily Watson. She's a
Yeah.
different actress.
that survived the transition when Disney took over. Not very many executives survived that transition, let alone employees. But she survived, and she has recently decided to step down, and it's just kind of interesting. Like,
Yeah, do we know why?
she didn't give a reason. She just said it
No.
was time for new opportunities. But I just wonder if it was just the lack of control and responsibilities.
Yeah, it's probably a drastic difference between because it's probably still technically like the same job,
And maybe
but
she
everything around her is so different. It's probably depressing.
But now she literally has to respond to a higher up.
Lost
as
all of the
well.
people she probably liked working with.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I wonder also if it wasn't because the slate that they inherited, which she oversaw, has been horrible. Like, except for Ford versus Ferrari, all those films,
Oh,
all those
that's
Fox
true.
films.
I
have
think
been
part of
such
that was
bombs.
just bad timing Because she
A
really
lot of
has.
bad timing.
She has worked with a lot of good stuff. I mean, the X-Men franchise hits and misses, but it still was profitable. Avatar was big. They did Night in the
But I
Museum. That
could
was like
see-
one example.
I can see where Disney would be upset having bought
those were a
this
while ago,
asset.
Oh,
and then-
definitely.
then
They
they-
want instant.
Yeah. And then all the films that they
payoffs.
inherited from that asset have
Yeah.
not
It's like,
done
come on,
very
why
well.
haven't you given us another Avatar success? What's going on?
Right.
Yeah, why is
'Cause
Ford
New
versus
Mut-
Ferrari not $1 billion? What's going on
'Cause I
here?
think like New Mutants isn't going to do very well. Call of the Wild doesn't look like it's going to do much.
Wasn't it tracking well for how early it was? I thought I
Call of the
heard
Wild?
that.
Call
I think if you
Didn't-
just
I thought you said that. Maybe not.
No.
Maybe
give
I
it an
misheard.
actual dog and it looks
oh,
pretty good movie, I thought.
Yeah. I didn't like that CG dog
Nobody
that's
does.
like
Nobody I've
growling
talked
at
to
the
likes it.
bear.
It makes
It's
me
so
laugh
fake
in the
looking.
theater every time I see it.
There's never been a dog like Buck. And it's like, yeah, I know, because he's fake.
Because he's not real.
I just keep thinking about. Maybe it was on the podcast, but you, Eric, making that joke of like Harrison Ford having to.
Oh,
act
yeah, like a
next
dude
to-
in a tight green spandex suit, like crawling around on all fours.
has like the
It's
dots on
probably
himself,
what
and he's like,
happened.
"Woof." I don't.
Yeah, it's like, Harrison, this isn't something
I
you
don't
do.
think he's crawling
dog I've
around.
ever
I
had.
don't
He's
know.
like,
I don't
"Thanks."
know if they can get that man back up. Get him down on all fours.
Oh.
Yeah, it makes me laugh every time I see the trailer at the theater.
I have
Every
the
time.
best meme that I've been waiting to share with Eric. It's like a Star Wars meme, but it's Call of the Wild picture, and it's like when you wake up from the trip and you realize that you're not a space adventurer with your like best friend.
Oh.
You're just a man and a dog.
He can
Man,
only
dog.
imagine.
I should share that with you. I have a few Star Wars memes that have been like hoarding. I'm like, I'm going to share these with the guys one day.
Yeah, you kind of got to see memes to get the full impact.
You do. They're very visual.
Let me describe this meme to you. Isn't that hilarious?
And you're like, yeah, totally.
I bet that
It's
looks
so
really
funny
Maybe
funny.
just show it to
As
us.
I'm thinking about it, I'm like laughing to myself.
Yeah.
This sad Harrison Ford meme. you guys
Like, I
will
swear,
love
it's
it.
really sad and it's really funny.
I guess you got to see it to appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's probably the right call.
Try to be polite about
So, do you think she's getting like quiet, dignified boot from Disney because, like,
it. Probably.
because Ad Astra bombed and
Oh, it was so good.
Either-
Probably. They're
yeah,
probably
that's
just like,
Underwater
part
bomb.
she's
of the
probably
reason.
getting stressed out, and they're probably like, is this going to get better? And they're probably both just kind of amicably like, yeah, maybe I'm just done.
it doesn't look like any of the old Fox stuff is going to get better.
I mean,
I
what was
thought
the-
Ford versus Ferrari looked like the best out of all of their stuff.
Yeah, I would say that and Ad Astra. Yeah. For last year's slate, yeah.
I've forgotten everything about Ford v Ferrari, though. I feel bad.
No,
I never
mean
saw it.
it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was a fine movie.
But I get it though. Like it
It was the most familiar movie, one of the most familiar movies I saw last year.
yeah,
I knew
sure.
exactly what to expect, but I liked that the kind of downer ending that was still happy because they still had
I thought
each
that
other.
worked really well. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Did
I mean
they
she's
lose
got
the race?
Sorry,
I don't remember. Did they lose the race? I know that
spoiler. I mean it's a true story, but spoiler. Yeah, they lose the. Well,
they lose the race.
They
and then,
win,
and
but
then they go with a
still-
different person.
Yeah.
they go with a different driver.
Because it's kind of like a tag team race. Like there's
Yeah.
3 racers on one team, but they don't congratulate him. They congratulate the others, like the other 2.
Who's him?
Christian Bale, the
Oh,
race.
he
yeah.
doesn't get any
He,
recognition.
he doesn't get the recognition.
Oh,
But him and Matt Damon walk away with their friendship
Yeah.
stronger than ever.
Yeah,
and that's why it's not winning an Academy Award.
because they're like made me sad.
Yeah.
Sad's the best.
No, Emma Watts will still find a job. People will come after her.
I don't know. With the studio ecosystem, like contracting the way it is,
To
where
streaming.
Where is she gonna go?
I mean,
To
streaming service. I'm sure
She
one of
gonna
the
go to
other.
Apple? Try to lift
Maybe.
them off the ground because I feel like Apple's in last place right now.
I'm sure Universal or Paramount will want to get her somehow.
There's so many when I think
Even
about it.
Sony, maybe.
I don't know.
I just could see the possibility. I don't think it's
But I
oh
don't
she's out of the
see-
business forever. I think she'll be
Right.
able to land on her
I just
feet.
don't see her going anywhere studio wise. It would probably have to be streaming.
It could be
Where
that
they're all
too.
going.
Yeah.
So I might as well too. But anyway, that was just basically
That was kind
for
of it
that.
for this week.
yeah. I thought we did good for news this week. We had some good stuff.
This was a good news week.
Give me my Dark Pee-wee. That's all I want.
I gotta probably see a movie. Too late for January.
I
Not
wanna-
doing it tonight.
I want my Dark Pee-wee. I want my Chris Rock Saw franchise reboot. And I want... There's another thing that it just
I
totally...
want them
Do you
to,
think-
I want them to redo Rise of Skywalker with a Trevorrow script.
Will Lionsgate show a trailer for Saw during the Super Bowl?
I don't know. Their press site has never loaded the Saw section.
I mean, I don't think they have anything to send out yet, but
I
I
just
don't know.
keep forgetting it's a thing.
I
and
keep
then
saying
get-
I'm not
and
going to
then-
predict anything, but yet I'm like, but what if this comes out?
I don't know.
I'm not doing it this year.
No, I think Lionsgate's all hands on deck for that. I Still Believe, which comes
For
out
now.
in
Is
Is
March.
that a faith movie?
Yeah, Jeremy Camp is a Christian rock singer, right?
Yeah, a big
Oh, so
Christian
he's like an
rock
actual
singer.
Yeah,
And-
musician.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and he what song did he do? That's
I Still Believe.
is that the
Is that the
name?
song? I don't know, actually.
I don't know.
I'm not
So is
familiar
this
with
like a-
his... I'm familiar with the
Is he
guy,
playing
just not
himself in the
his
movie?
song. No, it's KJ Appa who's
Yeah.
playing the guy, Jeremy Camp.
Is it a biopic?
It's a true story about...
Isn't it about how he falls in love with his
I
wife?
thought it
and
was
that
just
she
like a
has cancer
cheesy
and dies?
teenage
Yeah,
romance
No,
movie.
It's like
Well,
about,
it's going to try and be that.
Where she
but-
falls for like a sexy musician.
no. I'm pretty sure it's like
He does have
based
abs.
on real
I
life.
don't know.
And
No,
how
it
he
is based
has
on
to
a true
maintain
story.
his faith through her cancer and
Yeah.
eventual
Jeez.
death.
I don't know if she lives or not. I don't know that part of the story, but
think
I'm
she
just
lives.
familiar with the singer.
This is way
Look it
more
up real
than I
quick. Does
thought.
she live?
What kind of what?
Look it up real quick. Does she live? I think she dies.
I don't want to spoil it for our listeners.
I
If they don't
think
know.
they care.
I don't think they care.
They will want to care.
I
Fine,
guess
I'll
there
look
are
it
some
up.
there are some diehard like faith-based film fans. I've never ever met one though. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're almost always so terrible.
As often as I've gone to church, even I don't know many that watch those movies.
They're awful.
Yeah, they're not very good. Not a lot of them are. Didn't that one last year do really well, though? What was it called? I Can Only Imagine?
Yeah, this is the sequel to that.
The sequel?
Yeah.
This is like the Rocket Man to that one's
Sorry.
Bohemian
No,
Like,
Rhapsody.
not-
This is like from the same people. Sorry,
it
it's
a-
not a sequel.
Is
it's
it
from
an
the same
anthology?
people.
I
Is
thought
it a
I Can Only
multi
Imagine was
verse type thing?
Wasn't I Can Only Imagine through like
I think it was,
Roadside?
I think
or
it was.
Global Road or something.
I think it was Roadside. Yeah, because Global Road was gone.
'Cause this one's
A
through
while ago.
Lionsgate.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is just a different studio, but like the same creative people.
I Can Only
Probably.
Imagine was through Roadside, and it was like their biggest film they had ever had gross-wise. But I just don't
Yeah,
think
which
the
is so random.
studio was prepared for something that big, and so or the distributor was prepared for something that big. So when the next sequel came, I think it got bought by Lionsgate to distribute.
Oh. Yeah, this
Bummer
isn't,
for
this
them.
isn't gonna make as much as that one. Maybe it will. I don't know. I am so out of touch with that whole crowd.
No, it's so hit and miss for those type of movies. I mean, there's been many.
When I think of faith-based films, I think of the whole God's Not Dead, horrible.
Yeah.
Like, here, let me spoon feed you the stuff you already
Yeah.
know and believe.
Yeah,
are
I don't know.
always
It,
terrible.
like some of those, like God's
War
Not
Room.
Dead, like some of them do really
So,
well,
yeah.
and then there's just others
It-
that fall under
it
the
is
radar.
based off Jeremy Camp's true life first marriage, where he meets this girl and they get married and she dies within a year of ovarian
Jeez.
cancer.
Sounds
He's
really
since
sad.
he's since remarried and has had children, so he has a happy ending. But
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's gonna
Jeez.
be a tearjerker then for some people.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be like older like church families that go see this because it's like the only suitable, appropriate movie out.
I do
And they're
wonder
gonna
if
be
because of
moved
that
to
ending,
tears.
it will do good business.
it won't
Like
be the
I can only imagine
suitable,
business.
appropriate movie because we'll have Onward and Mulan at that
I
time.
know. I'm just.
Won't we have Mulan, or is that between Onward and Mulan?
Mulan is March 27th, and
So excited
Onward
for
is
Onward.
March 6th.
Yeah.
Blah.
So
I don't know what I just did.
So it's March 6th is Onward with Disney Pixar, and then the 13th is I Still Believe, and the next week I think is Quiet Place 2
Mm-hmm.
as a big one, and then the 27th is Mulan.
Yeah. Yeah, March will be interesting. Who cares about February though?
No, I don't.
What's
I hope it. The only thing I care about February is that it gets better than January.
I'm excited for
I think
February
it will.
25th when the Colorado Space goes on VOD.
I'm excited for.
Oh. Your Nick Cage movie.
Yeah. I'm
An
excited
H.P.
for
Lovecraft adaptation. Excuse you.
the 14th because it's Valentine's weekend and President's weekend, and I have an extra day to work on my house. I am looking forward to this weekend.
Endless project.
So she's not seeing a movie.
No, I'm not seeing. I probably won't see a movie in February.
Like completely?
I don't think there's anything. Maybe I'll take the kids to Sonic. That
There
might
you
be what
go.
I do.
There you go. I think they love
I'm
it.
Maybe I'll
curious
see
about
Birds of
that.
Prey. No, I'll see 2 movies: Birds of Prey and Sonic.
Will you see Birds of Prey?
I do actually want to see that.
All right.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm happy you want to see it. I'm just.
I gotta just
We'll
wait.
wait and see. We'll wait and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Cool.
But that's not until next week, and I won't see it over the weekend. It'll have to be like a Thursday night early show or a Monday, Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Sneak out after the kids go to bed.
Well, what can people see this weekend?
Yeah, what's coming out, Kyle?
The rhythm section.
That was the other
and
one. I was
Gretel
thinking-
and Hansel.
I knew Gretel and
Yeah.
Hansel. I couldn't remember the other one. Blake Lively. I guess it's based on like a series of books.
Blake Lively and Jude Law, or is it Michael Fassbender?
Jude Law.
Jude Law.
Oh, I wish it was Michael Fassbender.
I would have felt bad if it was Michael
I
Fassbender.
miss Michael Fassbender.
'Cause-
Assassin's Creed really put like a bump in his career.
Oh, between that and the bad X-Men movies?
He was like flawless for a while.
Remember
there.
the Snowman?
Nobody remembers the Snowman. I mean, I do, but
Yeah.
nobody saw it. The movie that was literally unfinished.
From what I've heard, yeah. Anyway, he needs the break. He needs the break.
Yeah.
But yeah, those 2 movies, I don't think it'll matter. Bad Boys for Life in 1917 are killing it.
Yeah, they're gonna
Well,
hold over.
It's Super Bowl weekend, so nothing's going to do any business. Next weekend is Academy Awards, so we'll see if there's a bump. But
Right.
next weekend we get Birds of Prey, and that'll be number 1.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
things are going to start changing.
And then the weekend after that is Sonic, and that's also that really big weekend that I was talking about with it's Valentine's Day and President's. So you get a 3-day weekend.
Plus, you're working on your house.
Plus I'm working on my house.
Mhm.
But it's good because you definitely want to play a kids movie that weekend because the kids will be out of school on that Monday, and you get that extra Sunday bump, which
That
is
ended up
nice.
working out for Paramount.
Yeah. Well, that's why they picked that weekend.
Yeah, probably. I mean, as compared to November.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is much better for them.
Take us away, Kyle.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for listening. As always, you can find the Off the Break podcast on any podcast platform, as well as our site, silverscreeninsider.com. And please check out that website if you want all sorts of information for the upcoming releases to help with your theater needs.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Take it easy.